first bit of expenditure on the Rover. I've just spent £60 on an air conditioning regas, and you can probably hear the fans blowing away at the moment, and yeah, that's quite pleasant. I don't often have a car with working air conditioning. The last one was another Rover. It was my Rover 600. You can go and search for that video. We took it to France, and sadly the air conditioning did not last that trip. And then shortly after that, off camera, I never did an update on it, that car blew its gearbox to bits. Had a classic car show, so that was nice. And but yeah, aircon, automatic, comfy velour seats. This car is hitting all the marks so far, apart from it doesn't have a rear wiper. It's a shame they didn't do the 45 as a hatchback. So today is the 26th of July. We shall see how long the air conditioning lasts. There was no gas in the system at all, but it did hold a vacuum for 15 minutes according to lads at my local garage, which is Madeira on Havod in Ponte de Grois. And yeah, we shall see how it goes. So far so cool. Right, today the weather is back to being Welsh, although to be fair, the whole of the UK is very much heat wave over, and the rain has returned, which is good because the countryside was looking quite seriously scorched. But I'm splashing my way up to Llangollen in North Wales. It's a very pretty town. It's got a lovely steam railway. There's also a motor museum there, which me and some friends went to a couple of years ago, and that's where I'm heading today, because I'm going to meet members of the Reliant Owners Club, one of whom is going to take my engine away to be rebuilt. So that's going to be quite exciting. It was yesterday that we went to Classic Nostalgia at Shelsley Walsh, and that was good fun as well. So the Rover's done some miles this weekend, and drank quite a lot of fuel as well. I'm starting to think this really isn't going to be an economical car. It may even have a greater thirst than a 4-litre Lexus. I don't fully understand how that's possible. But yeah, stage one is splash my way northwards. I just want to talk about the heating and ventilation of the Rover, because I like it a great deal. I've had the air conditioning fixed, which is useful in terms of not getting too hot, and since I did that, the heat wave ended. So many apologies to the UK, it might have been my fault. But is air conditioning really necessary in the Rover? I'm not sure, because my main gripe with modern cars and their heating and ventilation is that you can't have fresh air vents feeding your face when you've got hot air feeding the windscreen, which means if you want to stop the car misting up, you end up getting horribly hot and stuffy. But the Rover has fresh air vents just below this camera, so that isn't an issue. But I think I might still use, having got it working, I might still use the aircon a bit, just to take the humidity out of the air and help with the misting power. Anyway, back to the road. Actually, I'm just approaching my typical 0 to 60 mile an hour test spot. So I guess we might as well do a bit of that. It's a bit of an unfair place to test it, really, because it is slightly uphill, and it is a pull away from a junction, but it's a very sharp junction. So into sport mode we go. Check the blind spot, check the road's clear, make sure we're actually at a stop, and 60, just as it hits about 7,000 RPM, it does just hit 60 in second. But as you can see, it's not actually that quick. It just makes a lot of noise. It's very frenetic. It's a bit strange. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, back to Reliant matters. Oh, I should add, that was a 0 to 60 mile an hour test with another engine in the boot. I hope it's still upright. So I've made it up to the Llangollen Motor Museum where it's pouring down with rain. You can see a nice LDV 400, one of my favourite vans, parked up in the bushes there. But I'm mostly here because the Reliant Kitten Register are having a meeting. So there's fox campers. I mean, how delicious are those? So these were built by Tandy, a little camper on the back of the tiny Reliant Fox. So these are just like my Fox, but with added camperness. I like how they thought you might want to connect the tent up. So the exhaust is a side exit item. There you go, want all the facts? Plenty of facts there. There's also a TR8 here, but mostly this is the kitten section. That is a Tempest, which is based on a Fox or a Kitten chassis. So these Reliants have all of the wheels. Styled by Ogle, same as the Mark 1 Robin, and when you get around the back you can see it is pure Robin really, with some very subtle tweaks. And here is the Tempest, where the engine is moved rearwards in the chassis, but otherwise that is a Fox stroke Kitten. The chassis are very similar on the Fox and Kitten, just a few differences on the front suspension. And you can see the front suspension down here. We've got the steering rack there. This one's got some funky dampers on it as well. Massive turning circle. I think a Kitten will turn in 23 feet, or maybe it's 25 and the Rebel was 23. It might be the other way around. Brown is a favourite colour of mine, it must be said. Let's go and have a quick nose at the bonnet on this one.
They're just beginning, as you've seen, they're just beginning to perish, but there's no movement in any of them.
And now we have got a Rebel, which was Reliant's first attempt at an economy sort of four-wheeled car. They didn't sell very many Rebels, and this one's been sticker bombed like crazy. Mostly didn't sell because they were quite expensive against other four-wheeled competition. They didn't have the unique selling point of you know, you being able to drive it on a motorbike license. But yeah, thoroughly charming, and again a ridiculously small turning circle. So we've just transferred my Fox's engine to this Reliant Kitten, and it's off to the next stage of its journey, heading up to someone called Adam, who's going to hopefully sort that out. It's belted in for good measure. I'm meant to be proofing this feature about Toyota Supras for Retro Japanese magazine, but I've been sent some disturbing pictures, and I thought I'd share them with you via the medium of video. So this is the Reliant Fox's engine, which is with a chap called Adam in the Reliant Owners Club. And the first thing you'll notice is this 750, and the 8 confirms it. That's a 750cc engine, which is 100cc smaller than what this car should have. So that's not great for a start. Then we get to the studs, and this picture's not it's slightly out of focus, so bear with it. But 1, 2, 3, 4 have all been chopped off. It's like they were cut in a desperate attempt to free the cylinder head. Not helpful. And some extreme violence was used to try and free the cylinder head off the engine. This is before I picked the car up, and yeah, that's the side of the cylinder head all smacked about. So we've got a bit of a problem. This engine is not in a very good state at all. It has heat seized quite badly at some point. Doesn't seem to have a fat lot of compression. Has a stuck valve in the rather bent cylinder head, and it's not even the right engine. So the studs could be, you know, pulled out, and that could all be sorted. But yeah, I tried to think what other damage is in there, and the front case on the engine block was damaged, and the rear as well. So God knows what's happened to this poor engine in its time, but it's not in very good condition. So that's the Fox sitting outside, going, how will I be powered? So at some point its original 850cc engine has gone walkabout, and I have no idea why. So for the moment, Project Fox has hit the buffers. Not really sure how we're going to get out of this one. It's a bit problematic. I sort of go back to the electric option. It's one I greatly fancy. I don't think I've got the skills to make it happen, but who knows, maybe I should revisit that. Maybe I could find the skills and could find people to help. It would be a very interesting project to do, and yeah, we shall see what happens. Bit of a shame, because you know, after all that driving up to Llangollen to hand the engine over to someone, that engine has turned out to be pretty much scrap. So Project Fox, who knows how it's going to pan out. Interesting times ahead.